Good evening, Hawks fans. Welcome back to the Atlanta Sports District. I am your host, Russell Spence, and I am coming to you with episode 5 directly after our first win of the season against the Orlando Magic. 111-107 is your final. An amazing come from behind victory. Just an absolutely great win. I'm really excited about what I saw, and I'm hoping that we can learn from the problems of today's game that got us back and got us behind, and we can move forward in a positive direction playing against Oklahoma City tomorrow. So we got an interesting turnaround here. We've got to get on a plane and fly back, and we're going to play the defending champions. So let's see how this goes. Want to go ahead and get right into it. We're going to go quarter by quarter, getting my thoughts. I'm going to talk about what I thought got us behind, and then I'm going to talk about what got us back in the game, and then we're going to go player by player, figure out how I feel everybody played, and give again some of my thoughts on just the game overall. So, we were down 2 starters to start the game. We don't have KP, flu-like issues. I don't know if that's with this pot stuff that's going on with him. I really hope that he is doing well with that. I know I have some friends that deal with this kind of illness. It's really tough. So I'm hoping he's doing well and that they're managing it well, because it's really hard. So, prayers up to him, thoughts and prayers and all those things. I really hope that they are managing it as well as possible. And we had Zach out with injury. I talked about this last game. How many of our players are the NBA going to let get hurt and miss game time because of the physicality of certain teams? Orlando was another one of those teams. And there were a couple of times today where I thought players were going to get knocked down and not get back up. Thankfully, we left injury-free, but that might not happen every single time we play them, because of the physicality that they're allowed to play with. I will say I thought the game was officiated more fairly today than it was last game, but they overall are still a very, very physical team. But this time they called it a lot more. I mean, Wendell Carter Jr. got like 5 fouls on moving screens, and they were all moving screens. So I'm glad that was a lot better. Moving to quarter 1, our starters were Trey, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dyson, Jalen, and Onyeka. We keep doing this thing in the first possession that becomes a microcosm of the game, and we stop doing it, and that's the reason we won. But we keep taking the ball out of Trae Young's hands. It's almost like we sit there and say, oh, well, the first game we want to get we know Trae's good, so we'll get somebody else involved. And today we ran our first possession as a isolation for Onyeka on the block. I don't like this. Trae Young's the best passer in the world. If he's on the floor, he needs to have the ball. I don't care. I don't understand why people think this whole playing off-ball thing is so wonderful and amazing. I don't care. We've built our team around Trae getting people the basketball, so in order for that to happen, Trae has to have the ball. Please stop doing these stupid quick hitter things in possessions unless they run through Trae. Sometimes we'll run a quick hitter where they have Trae get the ball, and the defense is so worried about Trae that then it gives you a wide open guy because they send 2 at Trae or whatever. I'm fine with those. We had one that we used to run a lot last year where Trae would have the ball, and he would throw it to somebody on the wing who would dribble up to the top, and then Trae would run off multiple screens and come and wrap around, and he would catch it on the move, getting another screen, usually from Jalen, and he would and they would send like 3 dudes with Trae, and then Jalen was always open for the lob because they were so worried about Trae going downhill. So I'm fine with stuff like that, those kind of quick hitters that use Trae's talents, but if you don't have the ball in Trae's hands, that's always a problem. So I don't like that. We had some foul issues early, and Onyeka gets 2 fouls pretty quickly, and we have to put in Mo Gueye. Now, we're going to keep talking about this throughout the game. Mo Gueye won this basketball game. He played so well. But he comes in with the first sub and immediately adds some energy. And, I'm starting to notice that I think he can play the 4 or the 5 pretty easily. Like, he was in the game at the 5 to start, and there was no he wasn't struggling to rebound. Nobody was pushing him around. I think he could play both pretty easily. Early in the game, I wanted to talk about this because people talk about Trae Young being a really terrible defender, and it's true, he's not a good defender. He has limitations size-wise, but he is really great at moving his feet and getting in front if you are attacking him. Now, some people will just bang into him and knock him out of the way, and that can happen. But early in the game, go back, it was early in the first quarter, Trae Young gets this wonderful steal where he moves his feet, bodies up the offensive player, and knocks the ball away. That kind of stuff is the stuff that he's greatly improved on over the past few years that make him at least serviceable, sort of, on defense. So, I also wrote here that I saw that our defensive intensity in Game 1 was not there. Game 2, it was a lot improved, even in the first quarter. I mean, just right from the onset, we were much more defensively intense. I don't know if that's a no KP thing. I don't know if that's a Mo Gueye was playing thing. I don't know if that's a we didn't have Keaton Wallace get subbed in the first quarter thing. But no matter what it was, the intensity was a lot better. We were seeing a good bit of connectivity issues on offense where, again, we're just kind of still feeling each other out. We don't know where each other's going to be. The ball is not popping like I know Quinn Snyder likes for it to. He even said in the pregame that he wanted the ball to be moving. Let's make fast decisions. They were struggling with that early. I think that Nickeil Alexander-Walker in the offseason has been working with everyone on offensive foul drawing because we're seeing like Trae has been drawing some, Jalen's drawing some, Nickeil Alexander-Walker's drawing more, Dyson's drawing more. And so I think he really got with everybody and was like, hey, this is an easy way to get stops. We're going to learn to do it. So I've been really pleased with that. Bob actually made a very funny point that talks about this thing that I'm talking about with their over physicality. They commit a foul, and it's obviously a foul, and they start screaming at the referee, as the Orlando Magic do, and Bob says, quote, "This is the way we play, guys." He says, Orlando, they're saying to the referee, this is the way we play. Well, then change the way you play. If the way you play is against the rules of the game that are written in the rule book, you have to change the way you play. That would be like looking at someone and being like, I carry the ball like a football, but that's just the way I play. Okay, well, that's against the rules. So it's a travel. Fouls are the exact same thing. You can't say, well, we have to call a travel every time, so he's running with it like a football, so the game's just going to be super long, so we're going to let him walk because we want to make sure the game has a good flow to it. That's stupid. If they foul, call the foul. It was much better today, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. This is the way we play. Quoting Bob Rathbun, that's what he said. If it's the way you play, you got to change the way you play. So, I wrote here, for the entire second half of the first quarter, nobody could score. Both teams were just beating the mess out of each other defensively. Everybody's moving. Everybody was moving well. And again, we were putting lineups on the floor that could defend. We had a lot of lineups that were like Naw, Dyson, Mo, Jalen. Naw, Dyson, Jalen, Onyeka. And then one guy who's a little bit smaller, the Kennard, Trae Young, those kind of things. But it was not untenable because we had 4 dudes who were great defenders on the floor. That's the way this team is supposed to be built. That's the way it works. And the offense will get better as the connectivity gets better. They just don't understand each other yet. That happens. It's game 2 playing together. But so, after that, I said, another team saying how many times they can foul in one game, which was the Orlando Magic. They were just beating the mess out of us. And I wrote, N'Faly Dante has been rough. He had multiple times where the ball bounced off his chest or his head or his face, where he just was not expecting the ball to be passed to him. That's not okay. When you've got Trae Young on your team, you have to have your head on a swivel. There was one where if N'Faly Dante caught it, he had a wide open dunk. All he had to do was just go, and it hit him in the face. So after that, you saw N'Faly Dante did not get subbed back in. they decided to go with those minutes that they were helping to deal with the foul trouble. They went with Asanul instead, and I thought he played very well. We'll get to that in a minute. At the end of the first quarter, though, Atlanta was up 25-24. At the start of the second quarter, we went with a lineup. There was Keaton, Luke Kennard, Vít Krejci, Jalen, and Onyeka. If you look at our roster, we are the biggest team in the NBA. Look at our average height. We are the biggest team in the NBA. How is it that we put a lineup on the floor that was undersized at point guard, undersized at the 2, undersized at the 3, and undersized at the 5? I mean, we had Keaton Wallace, who was 6 feet tall, undersized. Vít Krejci is undersized to play the 3. He's really thin for that position. Luke Kennard is undersized at the 2. He's able to be bullied and put in the paint. And Onyeka, though I like him a lot, is like a 6'8" center. We were undersized at every position, even though we are the biggest team in basketball. That's not okay. And the Orlando Magic took advantage of it. They immediately went on an 8-point run. Every one of those 8 points were easy, wide open, simple shots at the basket, either a layup or a dunk. 8 points in a row, 8-point run. Boom. We're down 7. That was almost the game. After that, we stayed between like down 7 and down 13 for the rest of the game until we made our comeback. We will not be able to do that every game. We will not be able to make a comeback every game. So there will be times where you're looking at this team, and if we continue to play Keaton Wallace, we will lose games off of one run that happens when we had a bad lineup on the floor. If we do that against Oklahoma City, they will run us out of the gym in those minutes, and they will beat us off of that one run. We can't have that. Keaton cannot be playing right now, even with everybody healthy. I mean, looking at that same lineup, if you had just moved Kennard to the 1, now you have a person who can at least feasibly, physically compete against a player as big as like an Anthony Black, who's 6'7". Vít moves up to the 2. Now he can physically compete with people at that position. He's able to at least get a hand in like Desmond Bane's face. If you had played Jacob Toppin, 6'9", at the 3, he's able to physically compete against a player like Franz Wagner. If you had then had Jalen and Onyeka, you're not as small. You don't give up points in the paint. I would have much rather seen Jacob Toppin play in those minutes. I mean, Zach is the player who's injured. Zach's the player's minutes we're having to make up for, and we played Keaton Wallace instead of playing Jacob Toppin, who plays the same position as Zachary Richaussé. We cannot continue to play this guy. If everyone's healthy, now I understand if you're saying, okay, Trae Young's out and we need another point guard, we're going to play Keaton. That's okay. Or Kennard's out, we need another smaller guard, we're going to play Keaton. That's fine. But you cannot play him if there's not substitution necessary minutes at your guard position only. If anybody else is out, Keaton is not the guy who goes in under any circumstance. So they go on this big run. There's a very freaky play where the ball gets tipped and it goes out of bounds, and Mo Gueye has it in his hands, and Paolo Banchero tries to rip it out of his hands, and Mo Gueye rips it back away from him. I don't know what Paolo Banchero said, but Mo Gueye turned and was very unhappy very quickly. And then they assessed the technical foul to Mo. That's a superstar call, and I hate that because that goes on Mo Gueye's record as a technical foul when he was not the instigator and all he did was stick up for himself. Also, Paolo Banchero, I would be careful with Mo Gueye. He seems like a guy who's really big and really strong. And I don't think you want to mess with that guy. He's a very tough guy. Grew up in Senegal. I think he's the kind of dude you don't want to mess with. And so it was interesting to me to see, even though Mo was playing amazingly, how he was kind of getting in their head. And I think they were going, who is this guy and why can't we score on him? And I think it was getting in their dome. So good for Mo, honestly. At the end of the quarter, we're not really playing well still. We had this run that happened when Keaton was on the floor. We pulled Keaton and we put in other players, and we're still not playing well. And I started noticing this. We had the best passer on planet Earth and we weren't playing through him at all. He was barely touching the ball. And I know that other teams try to keep the ball out of Trae Young's hands because he's that good. You can't even let him touch it. But there are things that you can do to get him the ball. And we did those things later in the game, and that's what sparked our run. Was that Trae Young was able to take the game over because we were giving him the ball. So that needs to be every possession. If Trae Young's on the floor, he needs the ball. There's that. At the end of the second quarter, going into halftime, we were down 61-51. We were -9 in Keaton Wallace's minutes, and he only played 4 minutes. If you have a player who's losing every time he comes in the game, his minutes by 2 points a minute, that's hard to do. That's really hard to do. That means he's playing very poorly. I hate to keep beating a dead horse. He doesn't need to be playing. Quarter 3. I wrote this down, and don't think I don't like this player. I'm just saying this needs to happen. Dyson needs to improve offensively. He had a lot of open looks where he was unwilling to shoot the ball from 3. He missed multiple layups at the rim, open layups that he should make. Dyson is an amazing defender who has the opportunity to make a lot of positive value to come on the floor with his defensive game. But if you have a player who legitimately cannot play on offense at all, there's a problem there. He's got to get better. He's got to play better. But the defense was awesome throughout most of the third quarter. And because of that, we were able to kind of keep the game in this same flow. The only problem is that Jalen got his 5th foul. Again, this last game, the weak whistle was going to Dyson. Today it went to Jalen. And that's what kept him at his under. He was not able to score because he was never on the floor. Because he was getting a lot of ticky-tack fouls called on him that were not legitimized fouls. While at the same time, they are chucking Trae Young out of bounds on drives and not getting fouls called. It was better today, but the officiating still has to get significantly better across the league. It's a huge problem. I wrote down, and this is very true, and it came back to bite them. Goga Biratse, their backup center, was really struggling to cover the paint, and we made a big attack at him over and over and over again there for a portion of the quarter and got it back within a reasonable number. The number was 6, I believe. And then we decided to put in a lineup that had Trae, Veet, and Kennard in the lineup. That's not just me hating on Keaton. You can't have a lineup that has Trae, Kennard, and Veet all at the same time. That's too small. They cannot guard. Stop playing those lineups. Don't do it. Ever. So, when that happened, they went on another run. And they stretched it back out. And they end the quarter up 86-78. Up 8. And the only reason that happened, the only reason was that at 8, was because we were able to score a little bit better with that lineup on the floor, but it was not good defensively. And mostly it was not good in transition. We've been really bad in the first two games in transition defense, and one of the possessions was an infuriating transition possession where they didn't even run it well. We just didn't get back. We just didn't even try. Onyeka was like getting back, Trey was like getting back, and they got a wide open three and they made it. That's frustrating. We've got to be better across the board in transition defense. So at the start of the fourth, as I said, we're down 8, 86-78. They start the fourth quarter again with a Keaton, Kennard, Veet, Mo, and Onyeka lineup. It didn't go well. It was a little bit better defensively in that stretch, but it still was not great. We take out Keaton and go on a little bit of a run where the lead had gone up to double digits again, and we get it down to 7. That's when we started giving the ball to Trae Young. And he starts attacking, and he's making the right play, and he's finding the right guy, and we are coming at the defense with our best player. And the lead got cut to 2. We made a 10-0 run. And then we score again, and it's a tie game. And then that same run, we're up 4. From there, we played even with them. But that run where we started giving the ball to Trae Young was the time when we took over this game. I don't get why you wouldn't want to do that from minute 1 to minute 48 instead of just doing it in the fourth quarter. Again, I really like Quinn Snyder. I think he has a great offensive system. I think he's struggling to integrate these new players, whether that's them not listening or whether it's him trying to play with the new toys he got. But Trae Young is your superstar. Play through Trae Young. So a lot of what our run was we started making open threes. We had been really bad from 3 prior to that point. But again, there's a difference between catching and shooting a 3 from a movement screen that you're off balance and it's not a good pass and you catch it and you chuck it up there. You're not making that. But when Trae Young pierces the paint, goes off 2 feet, and kicks it out to you and you're wide stinking open like Asa Newell was in the corner in the fourth quarter, there wasn't a dude within 30 feet of him. NBA players make that shot. But that's because he was able to get us that shot. If you play through Trae, the offense will be easy. If you don't, it won't. It's that simple. So, at the end of the game, we're struggling to rebound a little bit, and they tie the game. Trae Young makes an absolutely insane floater. We go up 2, and I wrote down Trae Young is so good. Then they go down, and we're up 2. They shoot a shot that does not go in. And the rebound comes very hard off of the rim. And Dyson and Jalen Suggs are fighting for it. And the ball goes squirting out across the floor. And there are 3 Orlando Magic around it. And Mo Gueye comes flying in out of nowhere, dives on the basketball, turns over, timeout, Atlanta basketball. They have to foul with very little time left. That play sealed the game. Mo Gueye needs to play because he makes winning plays. That was a winning play. He is a winning player. if you want to win games, you play winning players. That's simple. And that's what Mo Gueye is. He might not be the prettiest player. He might not have the prettiest handle. He's actually improving a lot as a passer. And he made 2 threes tonight. His offense was not bad. But you might say, the offense is a little ugly with Mo on the floor. I don't care. He makes winning plays. He gets winning offensive rebounds. He gets winning defensive rebounds. He makes winning defensive plays. He was the reason we sealed the game. Other players watch the other team pick up that ball and shoot the ball in the basket. Mo Gueye did not. He dove on the floor. He gave up his body. He got the timeout off. He's a winning player. Play that guy every night, all 82 that he's healthy. That simple. So, moving on, we did get the win, 111-107. Again, they had to foul Trae Young. We get 2 free throws. He makes them, boom, boom, boom. We're good. Game's over, 111-107. Moving right along to player by player. How did everybody play? So I'm going to start with Keaton Wallace. Keaton did score. He made a 3. Good for him. So he had 3 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound on 2 shots. But again, he was -7. Now, that means he played a little bit better in the second half. But it still wasn't great. And he's still too small. And you just can't. It's untenable. He's not a good enough offensive player. Can't keep playing him. Moving on, N'Faly Dante. Offensively, it was something. I don't know what to call it, but it was definitely something. And so I don't know when he's going to get on the floor again. I just made the G League video where I said that he probably wasn't going to be playing in the G League. He might be playing in the G League because if they're not going to trust him more than they did, he played 4 minutes and immediately got yanked. If they're going to play Asa ahead of him at the 3rd center spot, if they're going to play Mo Gueye ahead of him at the 3rd center spot, he's not going to play much. Asa Newell played 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Had 5 points, no rebounds, no assists, but played good defense. That's a team that's big and strong, and he held his own. When I talked about Asa in the G League video, I think he needs to get stronger. He was fighting today. That was some fight. I like to see it. It's only 4 minutes, but it was 4 impactful minutes, 4 winning minutes. Boxed out very well, defended very well. Still struggles a little bit to switch, and so I'm hoping that we can work on his footwork a little bit, get him switching a little better. But honestly, he's a really talented player. I'm excited for Asa Newell. Next, I want to talk about Vít Krejci. Vít was 1 of 2 from 3, 2 of 3 from the field, had 5 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. He was -9, but again, he was playing a lot in those minutes. That was Trae, Kennard, Vít. Keaton Wallace, Kennard, Vít. You're not winning those minutes. You can't score enough to score as much as the other team's going to score on that lineup. So I thought Vít played pretty well overall. He still needs to hunt his shot more, and he was last year. And so I'm a little bit confused, I guess is the best word. He needs to shoot the ball more. And there are times he's open and should shoot it. Shoot the ball. You're a good shooter. Moving on to the next guy, I'm going to talk about Luke Kennard. 3 of 5 from the field, 0 of 0 from 3. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 points. Dude, you're Luke Kennard. Shoot the ball. You're open. I don't know how many times today it was like pump fake, drive. Pump fake, drive. Pump fake, drive. And I'm like, I get it. You have a good pump fake and you can put the ball on the floor and you can pass. But you also make 43% of your threes, dude. Shoot it. Please. I'm begging you to shoot the ball more from 3, Luke Kennard. You're open, shoot it. Thank you. If he does that, I'm really like what I'm seeing for the rest of Luke Kennard. Especially we did play, like in the first quarter, we played him a stretch as the backup point guard, and he played well. I like that. Keep that up. Don't play Keaton. Play Luke Kennard. Cool. I like that a lot. Shoot the ball more. That's it. That's my entire takeaway. Shoot the ball more. Next guy off the bench, Mo Gueye. 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 13 points. He's just a winning player. And every time he gets in the game, he proves it. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to play a winning player. Hopefully we figure it out. I love him. I think legitimately Mo Gueye has all NBA defensive potential. Play that guy. Play that guy a lot. Play that guy every game, no matter what. Play that guy. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Play that guy. We'll talk about Jalen next, because he played the least minutes of the starters. Yeah, the whistle was just bad. It was soft. And it seems to always be soft when you play Paolo Banchero. Paolo has, it's kind of Giannis-like tendencies, where he will sprint to the basket, completely out of control, and ram into somebody, and throw it up there. And they go, oh, that must be a foul. What happened to the days when referees rewarded control? Think about that. What happened to those days? God only knows, right? I think that hopefully we can get it figured out soon. Because my goodness, that whistle was weak. Next, we'll talk about Null. He played 31 minutes. He was 8 of 18 from the floor, 1 of 10 from 3, 1 rebound, 4 assists, and 19 points. Null's taking some out of control 3-pointers. He needs to wait to be open consistently. But I will say he's playing very well inside the 3-point line. I mean, if you just take away the threes, don't look at his 3-point percentage. He was 1 of 10, so that means he would be 7 of 8 for the rest of it, because he's 8 of 18. Take away 10 attempts, that would be 8 attempts. Take away 1 make. He was 7 of 8 from 2. But 8 of 18 in the game. He's struggling with his 3, he's rushing his 3, and he's taking 3s when he is not open. He is heavily guarded and just chucking it up there. I know Quinn says you gotta shoot it, you gotta shoot it, you gotta shoot it. If you're open, you gotta shoot it. You gotta shoot it when you're open, not any other time. But did have 4 assists, a rebound, and had 19 points. He played well, but he could play really well if he would just limit some of these weird shots. Next, we'll talk about Onyeka. He had 17 points, 33 minutes, 1 of 3 from 3, 5 of 10 from the field, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and again, 5 fouls. Very soft whistle. Not as bad as what they did to Jalen, but still bad. Onyeka he's a really good player. He's not going to blow your mind, but he's just solid at everything. And that's what he was today, and I was really pleased with Onyeka. It's the kind of thing where it's like, I don't really have much to say. Do what you did. That was really good. Hopefully you get a little bit better whistle. But in general, if we get 17 points from Onyeka, most of the time, I'm good. The only thing I wish I could get Onyeka to do a little more is just defensive rebound with a little more fight. all the time it seems like Wendell Carter, especially playing Orlando, Wendell Carter just like throws him away. Like grabs him and throws him, which is a foul. But fight back. Be a grown man and fight back. You are paid to rebound. You are a center. He only had 4 rebounds total in the whole game in 33 minutes. Please fight a little harder. Other than that, do exactly what you did. You're playing great in every other facet. Great job. Moving to Dyson Daniels. Dyson had 6 points, had 9 rebounds, and 4 assists, and played amazing defense. I really hope he can get some of these offensive quirks worked out because he's so stinking valuable on defense, and I love watching him play on that end of the floor. So, shoot the ball more when you're open. He literally took 0 attempts from 3. If you're open, you have to shoot it. And please work on your free throws. Good, googly moogly. Shoot free throws all day. Figure out what's going on because it's bad. He is starting to remind me of Ben Simmons. Scared to shoot. Scared to get to the free throw line because he thinks he's going to miss. Shying away from contact so he doesn't have to shoot free throws. Please go work on your shot so that you don't have these issues that other players that have walked this path of being an amazing defender have walked before you. I really like you, Dyson. I like him a lot. I really hope that you can get this worked out. Now, lastly, Trae Young. Trae Young had 25 points and 6 assists. But for the majority of the first half, he didn't have a single assist. That's not okay. And it wasn't his fault. We have to play through him. When we played through him, he was the best player on the court by far. That's with the guy that they're just trying to crown as an All-NBA player, Paolo Banchero, on the other side. An All-Star in Franz Wagner on the other side. Jalen Johnson, his teammate, could be an All-Star. Doesn't matter. Anybody who watched that game down the stretch goes, the best dude on the floor by far was that little kid playing for Atlanta. Give him the ball and get out of the way. He's so good. Put dudes who can defend around him and give him the ball and let him create our offense the way you did in the second half, and we will win lots and lots of games. If you do not, we will struggle because our whole team is built for him to be the engine. He is the engine. At some point, I will have a whole video that talks about my views on team building, what each role is in the starting 5, and then what each thing that your bench unit should be able to do. But Trae is the engine. Trae is that guy. Every team needs one, and he's it. Do you see the Denver Nuggets not giving the ball to Jokic for 10 possessions in a row? No. They give him the ball every play because he's that good. Trae Young is that good. Give him the ball. End of rant. Our next game that we've got coming up is against the Thunder. As I said, it is tomorrow. Tomorrow, we have a back-to-back. So tomorrow, Saturday, the 25th, at 7:30 p.m. It's on NBA TV, and I believe also on FanDuel. So tune in. We're playing the defending champs. It's going to be a really fun watch. They're a fun team to watch. Continue to show our support to our team. Let's keep loving on these guys. And, in terms of this podcast, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Let me know what you think about this weird phenomenon that we have going on of giving Trae the ball less. Whether you think I'm just out in left field and we're not, or whether or not you see it too, or whether, let me know if you think it's even a good idea to put the ball in his hands. I don't know how you can watch the game tonight and not think it's a good idea, but let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, and above all else, have a great day.